Hey guys, it's Bailey and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a quick review of all or nearly all of the products that are out with e.l.f.'s brand new Beautifully Bare collection. I have the foundation and the brush. The brand sent me these, and then I went out and got the two cream blushes that come in this line, as well as the two mascaras in it. There is a lip stain or a lip product that when I went to place this order wasn't in stock. I just checked back again, still isn't in stock, so I'm not sure if anybody else has been able to get it, but let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, while I was on the site, I was also seeing that all of the images have a limited sticker on them, so I'm not sure if once these go out of stock, they will never be back in stock. So if you see anything you like here, definitely go out and get it because it looks like they're going to be limited edition. Another side note, because there is so much ground to cover in this video, I want to put some timestamps in the comments, in the info bar below. So if you want to breeze through the foundation, you don't care anything about the cream blushes, be sure and check the info bar below so that you can just go skip right to the time where I'm talking about what you want to know about. Let's get started. First, let's start with the foundation, kind of natural because it's the order in which I applied them. This foundation is called the Foundation Serum and it has a broad spectrum SPF of 25. This retails for $8 individually, which is not only high end for e.l.f. standards, but getting up there for even the average drugstore price range for a foundation. So that's certainly something to think about with this guy. There are also 3 shades, light or fair light, light medium, and medium deep or dark, I believe. It definitely does blend really nicely into your complexion. You know, there is a huge difference between my face and my neck, so whether or not it fits me exactly, and it'll only fit those of you out there with my complexion exactly or my skin tone exactly, or if it really is that flexible, I'm not sure. Definitely be sure and check out other people's reviews on this, but despite the fact that it isn't a complete match, on the back of my hand you can see it's pretty significantly lighter. It really goes on nice and smoothly. It does have a more watery consistency though. You can see it's just running down my hand like crazy there. And to be really honest, when I was first trying this out, that's what I thought was just gonna make me absolutely hate this foundation. I assumed that it was going to go on very watery, and in fact that is probably my least favorite part of this foundation, is that throughout the blending process it takes forever to dry down and really sink into the skin, so it gets streaky and it stays streaky. You really have to work to buff this foundation out, but once you do, the coverage is surprisingly buildable and it actually dries down to a powdery matte finish. Any glow you see here was put there by me via highlight powder or some of these cream blushes. I was even surprised to find that after a full day's worth of wear, this didn't develop that much excess shine, and I was just powdering my under eye area because that is where mascara tends to transfer, where my concealer tends to just completely be gone by the end of the day. So I set my concealer, but I didn't set my T-zone or anything, and I have to say I was super impressed with the wear of this guy. It is a somewhat natural coverage. You can definitely still see under eye discoloration. I had to conceal those under eye bags, but for the most part, blemishes, the redness was toned down, any redness in my cheeks was toned down. It really worked well at evening out my complexion, but not making it too foundation-y. It didn't look like I was wearing a mask or like I had super perfect flawless foundation. So if you do want a flawless wear, this probably isn't for you, but those of you who are wanting something lighter, especially because this is such a lightweight, almost watery formula, but you still want more coverage than you might get from, say, a tinted moisturizer, this is a great way to go, and it has your SPF built in. I always like to put an SPF on underneath though. It's in my moisturizer, but this is a great backup, especially during these spring and summer months as we tend to be outside more frequently. The brush that I use to apply that foundation is the Beautifully Bare blending brush, and even this says it's limited on the site, so I really hope it's not, because spoiler alert, loved this brush. You can see it's slightly, well, pretty significantly found out, but it's kind of a chunk of a brush. I mean, it's miniature compared to something, whoops, like, you know, a normal sized eyeshadow brush. It's petite, if you will, and so it fits really nicely in your hand. I use this to apply foundation. It's great to get in your under eye area, so I also used it for concealer as well, used it for setting powder. It works well with liquid, powder, cream products, because then I also went in and used it with my cream blushes, which you will see a demo of, if not now, later when I talk about the cream blushes used to apply those. But the fan, or the kind of more narrow format of this brush, makes it really nice for applying kind of a, not really contour because it's not quite precise enough, but more so an overall bronzer. So I used it to apply bronzer today as well as highlight. This is just a great do-it-all sort of brush, and it's only $6, so it's really in keeping with their studio budget. And I didn't experience any shedding. I have maybe with one or two. Generally, for the most part, I have excellent luck with e.l.f. brushes. A few have given me a little bit of hair shed. There's a little bit of unevenness sticking up here. Not at all with this, no shedding. I've washed it both with one of those like sanitation sprays and then wiped excess product off, as well as actually giving it a heavy duty clean, no shedding. It just behaves and works beautifully. So if there's one thing you pick up from this collection that isn't makeup, I really recommend that it's this, because it's just a slam dunk. Next, let's talk about the cream blushes. There are two within the Beautifully Bare collection. They each retail for $4 a piece. There is a peach shade called Peach Perfection. This has a slight shimmer. I'm wearing it right now though, so the highlight, like I mentioned earlier, the highlight you see is highlight that I applied. When you wear this by itself, both of these actually dry down to more of a creamy finish, so I don't think you really are able to notice the shimmer all that much in this formula. And then the pink or rose shade, this is called Rose Royalty. This is a true cream finish, so there's definitely no shimmer to be found. Both of these dry down to more of a powder finish, unlike, you know, some other, I think maybe the Revlon cream. It gives you kind of a dewy sheen. It doesn't totally dry down. These really do. They are a true cream to powder formula, so there isn't any transfer. It acts, looks, feels like a powder blush once it is set, which takes less than 30 seconds once all is said and done. They're very easily blended. Like I said, I used the blending brush to apply them, but you can use anything similar. I was kind of happy to find that you could use a brush this dense, because I find it's best for buffing and blending color out, but with so many cream blushes out there, they're so pigmented that if you use a brush like this, the color is just overwhelming. I typically have to go in with a stippling brush. So on the one hand, it's nice that the pigment is buildable enough that you can use a brush like this. On the other hand though, that lack of pigmentation, or the you know, the pigmentation these provide just doesn't make it suitable for medium to medium deep skin tones. The lasting power was a little meh for me on these. I actually, before filming this, from between the time that I did the demo before this video and actually sitting down to talk to you guys, I already had to reapply the Peach Perfection because it had just kind of melted into my skin to, you know, just blend in with everything. So I had to up that pigmentation, get a little bit more contrast by reapplying it to what you see here. And then this I find will last not all day, maybe 4 to 6 hours. So that is the one downside here. These definitely, and you can see in the before and after pictures where I show you the foundation wear throughout the day, that, you know, it's in that picture I'm wearing the pink blush, which has a little bit longer lasting power. I think you can pretty reliably get about 6 hours worth of wear out of this, maybe 8 if it's not super hot and humid, but we are going into summer here, which means we are gravitating towards this cream formula. So you really need a blush that you can count on lasting that full 8, 10, maybe 12-hour day, and it has to last through heat and humidity. So all in all, I love how affordable these are. First of all, $4, it's some of the most affordable cream blushes out there for summer, and I love how they dry to a powdery sort of finish. I think it lends to them lasting as long as they do, but they don't quite make the cut for an all-day wear blush, on my skin type at least, and I have combination skin, so cheeks aren't typically where I see the most wear, but even still these manage to fade away by the end of the day. Last, I want to talk about the mascaras, and the first one I want to cover is the one I am most excited about. You'll probably understand why. It is the Beautifully Bare Lash Tint Mascara. This has a super long skinny wand that you might realize or notice looks very, very similar to IT Cosmetics Tightline Mascara. Here are the two together, almost exact same length. The major difference between the two is that the e.l.f. has slightly longer bristles. That being said though, it is still perfect, the e.l.f.'s. Perfect for getting right up close to that lash line to give you the appearance of a tight line without actually having to go in with an eyeliner. But because the bristles are so long, it picks up a little bit more mascara to help you extend the product all the way to the ends of the lashes. So this really is more of a complete mascara as opposed to something that you are just supposed to stick close to the roots. That's not to say it can't be layered. In the pictures before and after, you can see I have layered both this and the other mascara that comes in this collection, the Defining Mascara. But today I am wearing the Lash Tint Mascara on my right eye and the Bare Defining Mascara on my left. So both can be worn solo or layered to create a different effect. I personally find that the Lash Tint does a little bit more than tint. It's very pigmented. pigmented and it helps kind of define and lengthen your lashes, whereas the Bare Defining Mascara does less defining actually. It kind of adds more volume to my lashes. They give them more of a light fluttery effect, and I hope you'll be able to see that in the kind of side by side as I'm demoing this out. Speaking of the Bare Defining Mascara, you can see here it is very similar to lots of other plastic ones that are out there, except it has a small off-kilter tapered tip, and this actually works really nicely not only for getting the flare on the outer lashes, but also getting on the inner corner. That tapered tip helps really get into those tinier inner corner lashes so that you get complete coverage and not great looking lashes on the outside and just kind of like measly little lashes on the inside. Both of these mascaras lasted all day on me. I always take the precaution of powdering in my under eye area because I know if I leave, like if I have a dewy finish concealer, which pretty much all are on me, my mascara will transfer, and I do like to wear these on the lower lash line because they do look so natural and they really keep lashes nice and separated. You don't have to worry about clumping, but because of that, I always powder my under eye area, so maybe that's why I didn't experience any transfer. Otherwise, they didn't flake or smudge throughout the day at all either. The wear time is fantastic with these, and they both held their shape relatively well. Overall, this is a great launch from e.l.f. Cosmetics. It's a shame that they might be limited edition, because in the event that you love one of these things, you run out and you can't get it again, that's gonna really suck. But if you want to get something while they're still available, the things that I recommend are this brush. It's a pretty universal yes for everyone, and it's so multifunctional. Otherwise, the foundation's great if that's the kind of coverage and wear you're looking for, and the mascaras are great if you're looking for more of a natural looking lash. The performance of both of those things are phenomenal. The cream blushes, while they're beautiful, it's nice that they dry down to a powder finish. I wouldn't recommend for everyone because, like I said, I personally didn't experience stellar lasting power. But that being said, they're nice enough blushes. They're nice enough cream blushes, especially if you want something that dries down so it's not dewy and it completely sets. But just know that there are some limitations with wear time and how many different skin tones exactly they can fit. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this video was useful, if not a little long-winded, but thanks for sticking with me anyway. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.